It was 2:17 a.m. The city was asleep. Every street light flickered as if someone had pulled the plug just for you. On the corner of an empty street, far from the nearest gas station, stood a phone booth. Rusty. Cold. Forgotten by time. No one used it anymore, except for the calls that came at 2:17 a.m. I didn't believe the stories. I didn't care about the warnings. But tonight, curiosity would cost me more than I could imagine. The phone booth had been abandoned for decades. Locals called it the silent caller. Stories said. The booth rings exactly at 2:17 a.m. every night. If you answer, the voice on the line is your own, speaking about events 10 minutes into the future. But there's a catch: every person who answered disappeared within 24 hours. Some said it was a government experiment. Others whispered about a time loop curse. I laughed at it all. I had to see for myself. I reached the booth at 2:15 a.m. Cold air pierced my jacket. Street lights cast long, twisted shadows. 2 minutes later, ring ring ring. I froze. The phone, it rang. I stepped inside, and the receiver felt ice cold in my hand. Hello? I whispered. A voice answered. It was mine. Exactly mine. Calm. Soft. Certain. Do not move. Look behind you in 10 minutes. I laughed nervously. It was probably some prank. But the voice, it was perfect. My tone. My inflection. My pauses. 10 minutes later, my phone buzzed with a notification. I turned slowly, and a shadow darted across the street. Who's there? I called. Nothing. My stomach churned. The hair on my neck stood up. The voice, it wasn't a prank. It was predicting reality. Every word. Every pause. I didn't believe it yet. I had to test it again. The next night, 2:17 a.m. came again. The booth rang. I answered. Turn around, said the voice. I froze. It repeated. My pulse raced. I turned slowly. Nothing. But the air, the sound of distant footsteps, something was moving closer. Every night after that, the calls became clearer. They told me exactly what would happen in the next 10 minutes. A car honked. A dog barked. Someone dropped a bag. Everything. Perfectly accurate. But each time, someone in the city disappeared. Friends. Strangers. Random people. The booth, it was feeding off fear. Or maybe, it was trying to warn me. I started researching. Old newspapers. Police records. Urban legends. I discovered. The booth had been installed in 1952. 5 known disappearances every decade. All at 2:17 a.m. All callers. I called the police. They laughed. It's abandoned, they said. No records. Nothing here. I visited the city archives. Nothing. It was as if the booth never existed officially. The calls grew darker. The voice now described dangerous events with vivid details. A fire in an alley. A car accident. Someone approaching me from behind. I began to fear my own shadow. I couldn't leave my apartment. I couldn't escape the booth. And then, the voice changed. You are the next. My reflection in the glass, it wasn't just me. It smiled before I did. I decided to destroy the booth. I grabbed a crowbar. I ran. Heart pounding. At 2:17 a.m., the booth rang. I froze. It started speaking faster. My own voice screaming, warning, begging. I swung the crowbar. It hit the glass. Crack. The ringing stopped. I breathed. But the city, the shadows, they moved differently. I realized, the booth wasn't just a phone. It was a portal. A warning. A trap. I ran home. Locked my doors. Tried to sleep. I woke at 2:17 a.m. My phone buzzed. The call was coming from my own number. The voice said, "It's already too late. You are inside the booth now." I looked outside. The street was empty. But, the glass reflection showed someone else inside the booth. Someone identical. My face. My body. And it smiled. The line went dead. The city returned to silence. Weeks passed. I never saw the booth again. But sometimes, I hear a ringing phone at 2:17 a.m. I don't answer. I don't need to. Because I already know. The voice remembers me. And someday, it will call again. Slow pullback. The street is empty. The city sleeps. A lone phone booth stands under a flickering light. The camera pans closer. A shadow moves inside. The glass fogs. And the phone rings. 2:17 a.m. Text overlay. Some calls are never meant to be answered. If you enjoyed this chilling horror story, like this video to support the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a terrifying new story. We upload fresh horror stories every week, uncovering twisted legends and unexplained events from around the world. Stay curious, but beware the phone at 2:17 a.m.